Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Text 134. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. 135. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant, just as Lord Balram played with Lord Krishna in these three different modes in Vraja. Text 136. Playing like a bull, Lord Balram fights with Krishna head to head, and sometimes Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balram. Text 137. He considers himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Text 138. Acting just like ordinary boys, they played like roaring bulls as they fought each other, and they imitated the calls of various animals. Text 139. Sometimes when Lord Krishna's elder brother, Lord Balram, felt tired after playing and lay his hand on the top of a cowherd boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. And text 140. Who is this mystic power, and where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna, for who else can bewilder me? Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The playful pastimes of the Lord cause suspicion in the mind of Lord Brahma, and therefore Lord Brahma, to test Krishna's lordship, stole all the Lord's cows and cowherd boys with his own mystic power. Sri Krishna responded, however, by replacing all the cows and the boys in the field. Lord Balram's thoughts of astonishment at such wonderful retaliation are recorded in this verse. Bhagavatam 10:13-37. Lord Brahma's should be. Thoughts of astonishment at such wonderful retaliation are recorded. Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagarajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataribhascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Anebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter details the glories of Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Prabhu, who is non-different than Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah, it details his various incarnations, their purposes, and also the details about the spiritual planets where he plays different roles, and the material world as well. So here in these previous verses, it is showed that just like Nityananda Prabhu is playing the role, he is a spiritual master, he is also in the Sakhya Ras as a friend, and he is also plays the role of a servant to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, Balram also plays to Lord Sri Krishna, like that. And then, this verse 140, it comes to that, which brings us to Lord Brahma exclaiming this, these lines: who is this mystic power? And where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna. For who else can bewilder me? So Lord Brahma is speaking this in the Brahma Vimohan Lila. And Krishna, we can see, he comes to the material world to enact his pastimes, to attract us, to come back home, back to Godhead, leaving this Dukhalayama Shashvatam, the material world, which in any way we try to enjoy it, is a place of misery. So in this pastime, he chooses Brahma, who is supposed to be the topmost living entity in the material world, very powerful. 1 day of Brahma's life is 4,320,000,000 years, and the same length of time is his night, and he lives for hundreds of such years. Our Brahma has 4 heads, is intelligence personified, very powerful being. He is about Satyaloka. He is never attacked by any demon. Can't be attacked. He can't be attacked. He has protection of the Supreme Personality of Lordhead. So, Godhead. So, very powerful person. And then such a person, when he goes to Vrindavan, as demigods usually do, he goes to Vrindavan, he sees Krishna killing Aghasur. And all his Krishna and his cowherd friends, they are all there. After killing of Aghasur, everyone celebrates. Hey, Krishna, he saved us, like that. So, they're very happy. Another pastime, Krishna has killed another demon before noontime. So, it's time for lunch. So, Krishna guides them to this spot, in Vrindavan, where there's green grass, cooling breezes coming from the Yamuna, which is carrying, even though the sun is there, the breeze cools down the sun's rays as they come. And, the aromas of various flowers, they are floating in the air. And it's a perfect spot to sit down and honor their prasad, their meal. So Krishna guides his cowherd friends there, and they all sit, and they're all joking and laughing, They're all opening their lunch boxes, offering to each other, especially to Krishna. Hey, look what I've got, what my mother's given. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his role as this blue boy, small boy, his little fingers, mixing the rice and yogurt that his mother has given him. Very simple. The Lord, so he's eating that, with his full fingers. Then they are joking, playing. Someone says, hey, he fills the feathers in a samosa and then, tries to feed one another, especially Krishna. They fool each other. So that's going on. Lord Brahma is watching all this. And even though he's the top entity, Krishna explains, Daivihi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. She is very difficult to overcome. So Lord Brahma, in this pastime, Krishna shows that no one in this material world can actually have authority over my energy, the external energy Maya. It may be Lord Brahma, Shiva, they also fall prey to this energy of mine. And in this pastime, then Lord Brahma, he actually, when he sees this, he's bewildered. He doesn't know what's going on. And he's a powerful person. Yeah? He has got a lot of power. So, usually when we have this, we usually think, when we see someone, enacting something that is enlightened, great, or this thing, sometimes, like me especially, the thoughts of envy, competition, all these arise. And the mind is going, why should it be him? Who is this guy? Who does he think he is, And, I can do it like this. So Lord Brahma basically falls to that feeling. He feels that, who's this young boy? How are they enjoying? It's as if they don't have a care in the world. And also, they're enjoying in such a way that he can't see their enjoyment. That's another quality, that we can't see others happy, others enjoying. So Lord Brahma falls prey to these feelings. And he wants to spoil the party by showing them his power, how powerful he is. So, unfortunately, he doesn't come out of his spell of under Maya. So he tries to exercise his mystic influence. He's a very powerful person. He has got great mystic powers. So he decides to exercise that. And then as the boys are sitting along with Krishna, the cows and the calves are grazing, nearby. Then he slowly entices the cows and calves to go away further into the forest of Vrindavan. And when they are out of sight, then he takes all of them through his mystic power, and he takes them to his abode and keeps them in a place, hides them in a cave. And then, he goes about his business, fully convinced that he has befooled Lord Sri Krishna. And he's thinking, this guy must be, totally bewildered, his enjoyment spoilt, because I've taken his cows and calves, because he has taken it on as his duty to look after them. And since I've taken them away, that'll spoil his fun. So Krishna and the cowherd friends, they are joking, laughing, enjoying their lunch, enjoying the atmosphere of Vrindavan, beautiful atmosphere. And suddenly, the cowherd boys, they notice that, our cows and calves, they are not there. Where must they have gone? And then he asks another cowherd boy, and soon there's a discussion, They're thinking about the cows and calves. They have become cows and calf conscious, So we also become like that, Sometimes, even though we are engaged in service of the Lord in various services, sometimes the things become more important than keeping Krishna in the center. Yeah? And actually, those things may not be important, whichever it is. And even if they are important, unless Krishna is in the center, they can't fully, they can't fully be counted as devotional service, which is what helps us, be in a state of bhakti, and also ensure that at the end of life we go back home, back to Godhead. So, here Krishna is also saying that when the other things are important, but because the cowherd boys have taken shelter of Krishna, then Krishna says, when he hears this, he says, don't worry about it. You don't worry. You don't have to disturb. You enjoy yourselves. I will go and look for the cows and calves. You don't have to bother. So, because they have taken shelter of the Mahatmanastu Mahampartha Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. They have taken shelter of the internal potency of Lord Sri Krishna, under which all the Leelas undergo, under which Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. Then Krishna takes the responsibility to do everything. His promises. Kaunteya pratijani name bhaktya pranashati. Yogya kshema vahamyam. All his promises. Then he fulfills. We can see he is going now. So he tries to go and look for the cows and calves. He goes here and there. He is also playing his part, showing Lord Brahma he's really bewildered him. So he goes and looks for them, doesn't find them. Ultimately he stands and he thinks. And then he knows who's done this trick. He knows it's Lord Brahma. So he says, oh, okay, it is like Lord Brahma has stolen all my cows and calves. Let me go to my friends. So he walks back. He comes on the banks of the Yamuna to the spot where they were sitting. And there he sees now his cowherd friends are not there. Because Lord Brahma, after have taken the cows and calves, now he takes the cowherd friends. So that Krishna's enjoyment can be destroyed completely. So they are taken away. And then Krishna, he thinks what is to be done. Now that, my cowherd friends are gone. He knows Lord Brahma has done it. And to deal with that situation, to show that person, Lord Brahma, who is really in charge then, Krishna, through his potency, he expands into the boys and into the cows and calves. But through his potency is so inconceivable and powerful, this Achintya Shakti of Krishna, Each and every boy who was replicated by Krishna had the same features. Everything was the same. And even the cows and the calves. The only difference was, it was Krishna himself who was there. Otherwise, all the features of other cowherd friends and the cows and the calves were there. So, Krishna expands like that and he continues with his pastimes. And that day then, he goes, but by the time it is late, this day, all the cowherd mothers of Raja, they are waiting. Where are our children? Why are they late? It's usually this time. By this time, they are here. They are not here. Why is that? And they are all waiting. And as the Krishna and the cowherd friends, they make their way into the village, the cowherd friends, their mothers run to them and, they embrace them. And when they embrace them, they feel, this is different. Because all these cowherd friends, they are not the boys. They are now Krishna himself. So when they embrace their children, the milk oozes from their breasts. And their emotions, Vatsalya Bhai, completely is overwhelming. Yeah, it is in full. Because they are embracing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's taken the form. Therefore, that rasa and emotions comes within them. And from that day on, they can't be separated from these children, from their children. Their love is always increasing. And even it is mentioned that at one time when the cows are grazing, when the calves are grazing, when the cows see them, they also run to their calves because they can see that Krishna has expanded into those calves. So the cows are loving them even more because of that. Like that. It increases their pleasure. So this is going on, and Lord Brahma, he comes back after a year to see, what he expects to be, a funny situation. But when he comes and sees, he is bewildered that all the Krishna is there, his cowherd friends are there, the calves are there. So he doesn't know what's going on. And he is completely overtaken by, he thinks, what is this? Has Krishna stolen those cows and the cowherd friends that I hid in the cave? So he goes to check. But they are not there as well. They are there as well. So he's saying they are here, but maybe he's put them back. Then he comes here and he sees they are here as well. And now he knows that he doesn't have the potency that Krishna possesses. There's something absolutely wrong. The cowherd friends and the cows he stole, they are there and they are here as well. And then Krishna really manifests even his potency beyond that. That all his cowherd friends, they show their Vishnu forms, and their four-armed Vishnu forms. And then Brahma realizes that the game is over. That this is my Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's where this verse text comes in. Who is this mystic power? Where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna. For who else can bewilder me? So Lord Brahma still has arrived at the wrong conclusion, because he thinks it's the external energy. Actually, Krishna's pastimes, they take place in Yogamaya. So not in Mahamaya. So Krishna has done this by his internal potency, all this. But being limited, this is again shown, the most intelligent personality in the material world, Lord Brahma, who is intelligence personified, his intelligence is also limited. So what to speak of our intelligence? So taking shelter of Krishna, that is the only way. So when Lord Brahma sees that, then he knows that there's no other way except for Mameva ye prapadyante mayamitam tarantite. So then he takes shelter of Krishna. He starts crying. He falls at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna with all his 4 heads, and does that again and again and again. And he says, now I have realized that you are my Lord. Foolishly I have, stolen your cows and your cowherd friends, thinking that I was the controller. But now I realize that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please forgive me. I take shelter of you. And then he does pradakshina, goes around Lord Sri Krishna, that little blue cowherd boy. And then Krishna gives him permission to leave. After taking permission from Krishna, then he sits on his swan carrier and goes back to his abode. Like that. So we can see from this pastime, Krishna is showing that even the great personalities of this material world, they can easily be fooled. So please always take shelter of me. And Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai. Shri Shri Sita Ma Ramji Lakshmanji Hanumanji ki Jai. Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, like the cowherd friends, best to take shelter of me. And then Krishna takes pleasure in fulfilling the desires of his devotees. Krishna takes pleasure in having exchanges in the various rasas with devotees. He is Rasa Raj. And we are all in different rasas. But he can deal with us uniquely, in the rasa that we need. Krishna has created all of us. We are all his expansions, and we all represent a unique rasa, a unique combination of rasas, each one of us. And, only we can provide Krishna with that rasa. So each and every one is created for that specific purpose. And Krishna is saying, if you take shelter of me, then I'll fulfill you with that rasa. Because once we experience that rasa, or even, in the beginning as we start chanting, following the 4 regulative principles, taking to Krishna consciousness, we feel a sense of fulfillment, satisfaction. So he promises that I will have an exchange, personal exchange with you that will fulfill you totally. And everything, like they say that when you take to spiritual life and when you please Krishna, everyone is pleased in the material world. And everything is okay. Just like if you water the root of a tree, the tree gets nourished. If you feed the stomach, the body gets nourished. So similarly, if you please Krishna, then everything is perfect. So, Nityananda Prabhu represents Krishna's mercy. So, taking shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, the most merciful incarnation, gets us entrance into that mercy of of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So, therefore, we are, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami is extolling the virtues, the glories of Lord Nityananda, for us to take shelter of Lord Nityananda, so that we can enter into Krishna's internal energy and pastimes. Thank you very much for listening. If there are any questions, comments, realizations,